God save the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
Among the most transparently deceptive moments in all of Jennifer McCabe's testimonies to the world is her 911 call. Now, if you've seen my videos from the past, you've likely already seen my breakdown of her 911 call. But I would encourage you to stick around to watch, because the quality of the copy that we are using today is so much better. There is a lot that I missed the first time around. Now, importantly, I just want to let you know that this recording you're about to hear is not what was played in court. This is an enhanced version, but I went ahead and superimposed it over the timing of what was played in the courtroom so that you could see Jennifer McCabe and Karen Reed's reactions as they heard it. I want you to keep in mind as we go through this that Jennifer McCabe has her marching orders and is trying, as she's communicating to these different dispatch 911 officers, about what she's supposed to say. Okay, so they've already discussed what she's supposed to say to 911. Keep it in mind as we go through this.
Yes, I need someone to come to 34 Fairview Road in Canton, Mass. There's a man passed out in the snow.
There's a man passed out in the snow. Now, why would Jennifer McCabe, who supposedly loves John so much, he was a dear friend for years to this point, why would she say there is a man passed out in the snow? Instead of there's an officer down, Officer John O'Keefe is lying in the snow. Why isn't she telling dispatch that this is a police officer? Well, there's a couple of reasons. First, this is distancing. She needs to keep distance between her and John. So a man is a very nondescript, almost like you just stumbled upon a stranger in the snowbank, right? That's the vibe that you get from this. It removes her immediately from the scene. And that's what she's doing. She's removing herself from responsibility for the body. She does not want 911 to know that she has any relationship with the man in the snow. She also knows there's no urgency. He's already dead. Okay, there's no urgency. So it's a man to keep her distance, and there's no urgency because he's dead and because she doesn't really want to deal with this.
You're in Canton? Hold on. I'm going to transfer over to Canton Police. You called me. You're connected to Norwood, okay?
Yeah, I don't know why I did that.
It's the towers. That's right. Stay on the line.
So she has to, the dispatch is telling her he has to transfer her to Canton. So he's telling her to stay on the line.
You're in Canton? Hold on. I'm going to transfer over to Canton Police. You called me. You're connected to Norwood, okay?
Yeah, I don't know why I did that.
It's the towers. That's right. Stay on the line.
I think he's dead.
There's the first time that we hear her say completely, I think he's dead. And the funny thing about this is she's trying to tell the truth without taking responsibility for how she knows. Because remember, Jennifer McCabe has not gone near the body yet. They get to the scene, Carrie and Karen run to John, and Jen is then tasked with calling 911. She's not gone near John O'Keefe's body. There is absolutely no way she could know that he is dead. There's no possible way.
I think he's dead.
You'll note that the way that comes out, it's like, I think he's dead. She's trying to say it quickly, and she's not using the tone that you would expect to hear when somebody communicates to 911 that the person on the scene is dead, is because she doesn't want Karen Reed and Carrie Roberts to hear her say it, okay? She doesn't want them to hear her say it. So she's trying to communicate to them that he's dead, but without tipping off Karen Reed and Carrie Roberts to that very fact, to the fact that she knows he's dead. So here's the first 100% definitive statement from Jen. I think he's dead.
You got to get here ASAP, okay?
I'm going to transcend line. I'm going to transfer to Ken.
Okay. I know.
So you hear Karen in the background saying, I think he's dead. And Jennifer McCabe says, I know.
They're the blankets. I don't see blankets, Carrie.
911, what's your emergency?
Yes, I need someone to come immediately to 34 Fairview Road, Canton, Mass.
What's going on?
There's a guy unresponsive in the snow.
All right. So now she remembers the rehearsed statement. She remembers what Brian Albert told her to say. There's a guy unresponsive in the snow. So the reason, again, why it's a guy and not my friend, not officer, not anybody that I know, is, again, to keep distance. She's trying to say, I don't know anything about this right up front, okay? But the fact that she uses the language unresponsive, that is exactly the way law enforcement and first responders, people that are trained to deal with these types of situations, that's the way that they communicate to each other.
In the snow at 34?
He passed out, yes. 34, the Albert resident, yes. I just pulled up and found him.
I just pulled up and found him. I just pulled up and found him. Now, why is that important to tell the 911 officer? You know, it's amazing because Hank Brennan loved to say that Karen Reed evidenced consciousness of guilt. Well, if you want to hear a 911 call that evidences consciousness of guilt, this is it. I just pulled up and found him. Number one, we have just, okay? When people say just, it's very suspicious. Why is it suspicious? Because what it means is I'm holding something in my mind that I don't want you to know about, so I'm directing your attention away from that. Just look over here. Don't look over there. So I just pulled up and found him. I don't know anything about this. I have nothing to do with how he got there. I don't know how he got there. I just pulled up and found him. Which, by the way, is total bullshit. Because the truth is, even if she was innocent, even if John never did go into the house, she was with him the night before. So she does know a lot about what happened, right? Even if we assume that she was innocent, she knows that he was at the bar drunk last night. She was with him a few hours before. But rather than communicate, I don't know what happened, I was with him last night, I have no idea what happened here. You tell me, if this is an accident and this is your friend, would you say that? Would those words ever come out of your mouth? And it's funny because she knows enough to let the dispatch know that it's Brian Albert's house right away, the Albert house. She knows she's talking to cops, Canton cops, right? She knows they know this is the Albert house, who, by the way, in their initial reports about this, do not list the address correctly and who leave out the Albert name, who spell things incorrectly on purpose to try to deliberately keep the Albert name out of all of the reports.
I don't know.
Hello?
Yes, I'm sorry. Can you come to 34 Fairview Road in Canton?
34 Fairview?
Yes, there's a man unresponsive in the snow.
Okay.
So now we have a man unresponsive in the snow. So now she gets it 100% right. So the second time it was a guy, now it's a man. A man unresponsive in the snow. precisely what first responders would be trained to tell another first responder. So we have Jennifer McCabe with no law enforcement background, no first responder experience. We have her somehow knowing exactly what it is that you would say if you're a first responder who stumbles upon somebody they don't know frozen in the snow.
34 Fairview.
Yes, there's a man unresponsive in the snow.
Okay. Is he blue at all? Is he blue at all?
So there it is again. For the second time, it seems like he's dead. And again, she's saying it in a tone and very quickly, such that Karen Reed and Carrie Roberts don't hear her saying it. And note how sneaky the phrasing is here. It seems like he's dead. Why does she say it that way? Because she wants to make it seem like she doesn't know. And this is exactly the kind of statement that you make when you are trying to hide the thing that you don't want people to see. It just seems like he's dead. I don't know, though. I really don't know. I have no idea if he's dead or not. It just seems like that. So that's twice now. I think he's dead.
Okay. Is he blue at all?
Yeah, you've got to get here, okay?
Okay. What's going on? Is he face down?
We just flipped him over.
Notice the language. You'll notice that she's using the we pronoun, which is interesting. So she's trying to make it sound like this is a group effort, right? Which is, in this case, I think designed to try to make this less her responsibility. So she's using the plural to not make it sound like she's the one that found him by herself. Like she's trying to diffuse her responsibility by making it a group activity. Okay. So let's hear it again.
Face down?
We just flipped him over.
So we just only now flipped him over. We just only now flipped him over. Nobody ever touched him before now.
And who's that in the background? Is that someone related?
Okay, that's his girlfriend. His name is John O'Keefe.
I know this is not very relevant, but I just thought it would be worth pointing out to you because it's kind of interesting. Note that Karen Reed is so insignificant to Jennifer McCabe in this moment that she has an opportunity to mention Karen. And allegedly, she's already seen the taillight, right? And Karen's been saying, did I do it? She's confessing to Jen, right? And how concerned does Jennifer seem about Karen Reed right then and there?
And who's that in the background? Is that someone related?
Okay, that's his girlfriend. His name is John O'Keefe.
She is asked, dispatch asks about her directly, and she just ignores it. She says, that's his girlfriend, John O'Keefe. That's who she is concerned about. John, not Karen.
Okay, that's his girlfriend. His name is John O'Keefe.
So notice there, that's his girlfriend, and she almost whispers it. His name is John O'Keefe, because she doesn't want the officers. She's terrified. She's scared. She's scared to let the officers know this is a police officer. That's why she's hesitant to say his name, and that's why it's posed almost like a question. His name is John O'Keefe. Like, do you know him? Do you recognize it?
Okay, how old is he?
John is 46 years old.
46. How long has he been outside?
I don't know. I don't know. He got out of the car and
is he breathing?
A couple of hours.
Interesting there that she changes to using the name John. It's interesting, right? John is So suddenly she says it's John O'Keefe, and now she's not using the full name. She's just using his first name. Now you say, well, that's because that's her friend. No, that's because she doesn't want to reiterate the name. When she said it the first time, she almost posed it quietly like a question. And because he didn't respond or didn't say, oh, I know that name. Oh, that's a cop, right? She doesn't want to say it again. She doesn't want them to know this is a police officer. She doesn't want them to know.
I'm 46 years old.
46. How long has he been outside?
I don't know.
So notice she was quick to answer that. Up until this moment, all of her answers have been stalling. Now she's quick to say, I don't know.
46. How long has he been outside?
I don't know.
I don't know. Soon as she registers, how long has he been outside? She's, I don't know.
Outside.
I don't know. I don't know. He got out of the car and
She's saying it twice because she's buying time. That's what people do when they're buying time. They don't know what to say. So she was buying some time to think about what should come out of her mouth next. And it's very interesting. Listen to what she chooses.
I don't know. I don't know. He got out of the car and
I don't know. He got out of the car. Then she stops herself because she kind of realizes, what the hell am I saying? How do you know what happened? Why would you say he got out of the car? Keep something important in mind. If this was a person who is theorizing about what might have happened, she would have said that. He must have gotten out of the car, but that is not what she says. She gives us a definitive statement. Unless you saw him get out of the car, or unless you know he got out of the car. But what she starts to tell the officer is their rehearsed story, the story that they came up with about what happened. He got out of the car and then he fell, or he was hit by a plow, or we don't know, right?
I don't know. I don't know. He got out of the car and
Is he breathing?
A couple of hours. Is he, Terry? Is he?
He got out of the car and it could have been a couple of hours because that's the story. Could have been, note, could have been a couple of hours. Could have been. Could have been. Well, anything could be true, right? Aliens could have placed him there, right? Anything could be possible. Anything is possible. Could have been.
Couple of hours. Is he, Terry? Is he?
How many repeating I's is that? I. Now you want to say, but Sam, this is an emergency and she's panicked and she's, nervous wreck. Innocent people stop themselves because they hear how odd it is to continue to repeat I over and over. So they stop themselves. Guilty people don't stop themselves because they think it makes them sound more guilty, like they're censoring. And that's a lot of what deception detection is. It's realizing that guilty people who are trying to act innocent make assumptions about what innocent people do and say that are incorrect. And this is an example of Ms. Jennifer McCabe trying to sound innocent. So she stumbles. I.
And
Is he breathing?
A couple of hours. Is he, Carrie? Is he? I don't know if he's breathing.
I don't know if he's breathing. So guess what? We now have definitive evidence. Definitive. I mean, to me, this is as certain as the day is long, right? She is lying when she says, I don't know if he's breathing. That statement is a lie. So what then is the only possible alternative to that statement? I don't know if he's breathing. Well, the alternative is I do know that he's not breathing. You'll also note that she frames that in the negative. I don't know. So she's explaining. So this is an explanatory statement plus a negative. I don't. Which means she does know.
I don't know if he's breathing. There are two women trying to do his body heat, and they're hysterical.
So there's two women, I think she says trying to heat his body, and they're hysterical. I think that's what she says there.
I don't know if he's breathing. There are two women trying to do his body heat, and they're hysterical.
Yeah, they're saying there's two women trying to heat. She starts to say heat, then she shifts gears and says use their body heat, and they're hysterical.
Okay, can you just try to ask him? I know it's tough, but we already have the fire department going. I just got to know if he's breathing.
Is he breathing, you guys? No. It doesn't seem to be breathing.
Doesn't seem to be breathing is very deceptive because she's trying to distance herself by saying, I don't know if he's breathing. It just doesn't seem like he's breathing. So I don't really know. It just doesn't seem that way. So this is another example of, using a word like just. I don't know for sure. Doesn't seem like it though. This is me reminding you to like this video, like the video, comment, subscribe, like this video. Doesn't seem to be breathing.
Is he breathing, you guys? No. It doesn't seem to be breathing. No. It doesn't seem to be breathing.
Can we talk about the fact that she just said it doesn't seem to be breathing?
I did not delete that search. I never made that search at 2:23. I never would have left John O'Keefe out in the cold to die because he was my friend that I loved.
Oh boy, guys, there is a lot going on here. So what she says is, it doesn't seem to be breathing. So we have a combination of intentional deception and unconscious deception. First, what she's trying to say is it doesn't seem like he is breathing. But that's not what comes out. And the reason it doesn't come out correctly is because, number one, she's focusing on the word seem. She doesn't want the dispatch to know. She already knows for sure he's dead. So she's trying to make it sound like she doesn't really know. It doesn't seem like he's breathing, right? She's yelling over to Karen and Carrie, is he breathing? Doesn't seem like it. But she screws it up because in her mind, John O'Keefe is gone. That thing that Carrie and Karen are jumping on and trying to warm up is an it to Jennifer McCabe. She, long ago, many hours earlier, already accepted that John is gone. So that is not John O'Keefe, her friend that she loves. It's an it. It doesn't seem to be breathing. That's distancing, and that's full evidence of knowledge and awareness that it is no longer a human being. It is a dead body. Oh, this is like the most incriminating 911 call.
Okay, do they know how to do CPR? Do they want to attempt
Can you
CPR?
guys, Carrie, can you guys do CPR? No, I guess he's gone.
Okay. They don't feel comfortable doing so?
Right. No, I think he's passed away.
No, I think he's passed away. So he says, oh, they don't feel comfortable doing it. And she's correcting him. She's not saying, no, they don't feel comfortable doing it. She's saying, no, you don't understand. I think he's passed away. Do you understand how significant this is?
No, I guess he's gone.
Okay. They don't feel comfortable doing so?
Right. No, I think he's passed away.
Okay. All right, we got the fire department and the police department on the way. If everyone's declining CPR, then I'll hang up with you, and if anything changes, you can give us a call back.
Do you realize what just happened there? Do you realize that she just declined CPR? I don't know how I went through this call before and did not realize that Jennifer McCabe denies CPR. Denies it. Okay? You tell me that is an evidence that this woman knew he was dead. You tell me.
Where are you guys outside? Oh, right out front of his car. Oh. I know, I'm on the phone with the ambulance. I know, honey, I know.
I am going to slow this down so you can hear it again. Count how many times Jennifer McCabe tells Karen that she knows. And ask yourself, what is it that she knows? And if our language is evidence of our unconscious experience, what do you think it is that Jennifer McCabe knows?
I know, I'm on the phone with the ambulance. I know, honey, I know.
He's not
So, Carrie, you got to get off him, honey. Carrie, you got to get off of him.
And why is she directing Carrie to get off of him? Because he's dead. She just denied CPR outright. She just convinced the cop not to even try to resuscitate him. These guys showed up on the scene believing John O'Keefe was dead. How do we know? Dispatch. We just heard dispatch tell them. I guess he's not breathing. Do you understand what is happening here? Do you understand what's happening here? From my perspective, this may actually be more definitive evidence of their guilt than any other piece of evidence I've ever seen. And that's because human beings are so death avoidant. It takes so long for us to come to terms with accepting that someone we know and say we love is dead. There is absolutely no possible way that in the 4 minutes between the time they show up at 34 Fairview and Jennifer McCabe gets on the phone with 911, that she found a way to be the only person in the history of time that was able to accept completely the person that is in front of her is dead before she even knows for sure. Because let's look at it. She hasn't even gone near the body. So what we're being asked to believe is that based on the experience of Carrie Roberts and Karen Reed, who were both absolutely out of their minds, based on Karen running around like a maniac, who already thought John was dead before she even found him, already woke up Kaylee saying, John is dead, John is dead. That's who she's going to take the word of to determine whether John O'Keefe is dead and deserves life-saving measures? So that means that she would be the only person in the history of time that has ever been completely able to accept the death of a person that they love and care about, who, by the way, has 2 adopted kids at home who need him more than any other kid in the world probably needs their parents because they've already suffered the worst losses you could imagine. And Jen McCabe knows that too. And she's just totally okay. We got here at 6. I found him at 6:03. At 6:07, I'm totally fine. Let's just pull the plug on John O'Keefe. That's what we're being asked to accept in this call. It is not physically, psychologically, it is not humanly possible.
Okay, do they know how to do CPR? Do they want to attempt CPR?
Can you guys, Carrie, can you guys do CPR? No, I guess he's gone.
Okay. They don't feel comfortable doing so?
Right. No, I think he's passed away.
Okay. All right, we got the fire department and the police department on the way. If everyone's declining CPR, then I'll hang up with you, and if anything changes, you can give us a call back. Where are you guys outside?
Oh, right out front of his car. Oh. I know, I'm on the phone with the ambulance. I know, honey, I know.
So note right there in the background, it's hard to hear, the dispatch is telling the ambulance that he's not breathing. And you can hear it if you listen carefully.
Look, Carrie, you got to get off him, honey. Carrie, you got to get off of him. This is a scene.
I slowed this down and listened to what she says here.
This is a scene. This is a scene.
Under her breath, she is saying, "Oh my God, this is a scene." Whoopsie. Gee, I wonder if her best friend Carrie Roberts knows about that little statement. Man, I hope and pray that somebody tells her. I really do. Oh my God, this is a scene. Let that sit with you for a minute. Oh my God, this is a scene. I'm not going to even tell you what I think that means. You come to terms with that on your own.
Do you know if there was any alcohol or drugs involved?
They had been out.
Right after she says, "Oh my God, this is a scene," she then stumbles over the pronoun he. He had been out. Not we had been out. Not we were all out at the bar last night.
Because he was my friend that I loved.
This is a scene.
Do you know if there was any alcohol or drugs involved?
They had.
As you know by now, repeating pronouns are as objective of markers as you can have of deception. And honestly, I can't even count how many that was. And it was he talking about John. That's the subject of her deception. He, John O'Keefe. And she is so focused on the scene and the crazy scene on the lawn at her sister's house that she can barely get words out. That they're not going to be able to deny that they hear this scene playing out on their front lawn. She is not focused on the death of John O'Keefe. She is focused on the fact that they're not going to be able to deny that they hear this.
Can you hear me? Paul. Paul.
She's focused on how incriminating it is. I cannot communicate to you how absolutely this call indicates Jennifer McCabe had prior knowledge of John O'Keefe's death. There is no way this call could happen the way it does unless Jennifer McCabe already knows and has already come to terms with John O'Keefe having died. Okay? No way. No way. No way. Because think about it. You're being asked to believe that 3 or 4 minutes ago, Jennifer McCabe hops out of a car, suddenly, surprisingly sees this body of her friend who she was hanging out with last night, drinking all night, and within 3 minutes is completely convinced, so much so that she is telling the dispatch not to come quick. You're not just saying, oh, he's dead. You're saying, yeah, no reason to be urgent about it, guys, because he's already gone. I cannot explain how impossible it would be for somebody who finds their friend who they were drinking with the night before, face down, passed out on their sister's lawn within 3 minutes to believe and be comfortable saying it out loud that this man is dead. It is impossible. It does not happen. It would not happen. It could not happen. This is as evidenced of a guilty person as you have ever seen in your life. Period.
Stop! They had been out. They had been out.
That's 4 repeating he pronouns. And then she makes the correction to they. Not we had been out. Not all of us had been out. But he had been out. And then they had been out. This is deception. And it is 100% an effort to control the narrative.
They had been out.
They've been out drinking?
Yes, out, but I'm talking hours ago, maybe.
So what is the point of her saying that? I'm talking hours ago. Why does she say that? Because she's trying to communicate that he must have been laying in the snow from the time 12:30 when Karen pulls up out front. She's trying to control the narrative right from the 911 call. She's trying to communicate he must have been laying outside ever since Karen dropped him off. She doesn't want to say for sure that Karen dropped him off. So she's dancing around the issue of how he showed up on the lawn at 34 Fairview. But at the same time, trying to communicate, number one, he must have been there all night. And number two, he is f***ing dead.
They had been out.
They've been out drinking?
Yes, out, but I'm talking hours ago, maybe. And I don't know how long he's been in the snow.
Okay.
I don't know how long he's been in the snow. That's 3 I's. Repeating I pronouns. That is a lie. She does know how long he's been in the snow.
And I don't know how long he's been in the snow.
Okay. Is there any bleeding or anything? Maybe he hit his head out?
Yes, possibly. There seems to be bleeding in the face.
Yes, possibly. It's unbelievable. So she says yes, possibly, because she says yes definitively and realizes that she said it so definitively that now she comes back with a possibly, like, because guess what, everybody? She hasn't been near the body yet. So how could she be so definitive? And she knows that. So she catches herself and then comes back with, well, possibly. And then she says he's bleeding from the face to try to deflect away from the wound on the back of his head that she knows is responsible for his death. Do you know why? Because there's no blood underneath him.
Okay, bleeding from the face. All right.
Yes.
And how big's the pool of blood, if there is any?
Something's coming out of his nose, and one of the women is doing CPR.
Okay.
This is tough, you guys. This is why I can't stand Jennifer McCabe's testimony, because it is so egregious. She is such a disgusting, despicable human being who is lying with every breath to try to put an innocent woman in prison for the rest of her life so that she can save her family members who murdered the man that she loved so much.
And how big's the pool of blood, if there is any?
Something's coming out of his nose, and one of the women is doing CPR.
Okay.
How big is the pool of blood? And she deflects completely. She refuses to answer the question. Something's coming out of his nose, and one of the women is doing CPR. She doesn't answer about the size of the blood because there isn't any. There's little droplets because all the blood that should be there is somewhere else. Is this the most disgusting thing you've ever heard in your life? Because it is high up on the list. My entire body is contracted right now. The fact that anyone, anywhere, thinks that they are innocent it's not even laughable. It's just, frankly, completely absurd. It's completely absurd. Any claim of their innocence is absolutely absurd. Even if I knew nothing about this case except for this 911 call, that is how much consciousness of guilt is all over this phone call. She is a disgrace of a human being.
Okay, one of the women is doing CPR?
Yes, they're both working on him.
All right.
Now all of a sudden, she's trying to change the subject because the 911 dispatch started asking about where the blood is. So she's deflecting with a conversation now about CPR.
And how big's the pool of blood, if there is any?
Something's coming out of his nose, and one of the women is doing CPR.
Okay, one of the women is doing CPR?
Yes, they're both working on him.
All right, if she's doing CPR, just give us a call back if he becomes responsive, right? But we're on the way.
Okay, thank you.
Let me say.
So that's by my count 4 times. She tells dispatch that he's dead, and she waves off CPR until she needs a way to deflect from the fact that there's no significant blood pool under the body. Then all of a sudden, she brings up CPR. Well, I think we figured out who killed John O'Keefe, guys. And just wait until you see my next video, the one I am working on recording today. Because now we don't only have proof as a behavioral scientist, now we have definitive forensic evidence. Definitive. God, I hope the feds are paying attention. Wait till you see that.
God save the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything.
Has to buy that. So has to buy that. So